Hey, welcome. Are you having a bad day? If you are, I'm really glad that you're here because I believe I can help you. So I'm going to go through this process with you, and this is the ultimate self-care remedy that you can have. There's, a handful of really, really powerful self-care remedies, and this is one of them. So thank you for coming. I welcome you. And my name is Lori, and I am the owner of Time for Wellness. And I've been doing this kind of work with people since 2014. So thank you, and I'm glad you're here. We're going to take a few moments to just breathe in and breathe out, just to kind of relax a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out. And I invite you to close your eyes if you like. If you'd rather keep your eyes open, that's fine too. Either way, the reason why people ask you to close your eyes is so that you can just focus more on what you're doing. Because with your eyes open, then that leads for a lot of, distractions. Your eyes are starting to, look at different things that are around you, and you can become distracted. So when you close your eyes, you eliminate that distraction and are able to focus within yourself even more. So I invite you to close your eyes. And, you know, anytime we're having a bad day, it's, hard to get out of it. Yeah, you can sleep it off at the end of the day. You try your best to, make yourself feel better. There's all kinds of activities that we tend to do. Some people, go to food to eat something that they like as comfort. Some people go and go out and have a drink, and some people vent to others, and there's all different ways that people cope, and there's many different coping skills. Some are good for you and healthy, and some aren't so good for you and healthy, and a lot of them can lead to different addictions. Some addictions are really good, and some addictions are really not good for you. It's not for your highest good. So this is really healthy for you. And when we're looking outside of ourselves for something to make us feel better, then it's a never-ending roller coaster ride that you're constantly on. This process that I'm going to walk you through is actually inner work, where you're going to give yourself what you're looking for. And most people, when they're having a bad day, their ultimate root cause of what you're looking for, which is I like to get to the root cause of things, is some extra love and approval. Because anytime we're having a bad day, things aren't going right, we really feel like we need some extra loving in our life and somebody to just give us approval and acceptance and some security. So I invite you to take a moment, close your eyes, and could you give yourself some love and approval? Now, your mind might be trying to figure that out because you might never have heard of something like this before. And it's just a question. But could you give yourself some love and approval? There's so many times that you probably give other people love and approval. And we want others to give us love and approval. So if you're looking for some love and approval from somebody else, the best person to get everlasting love and approval that really works is getting that love and approval from yourself. So could you give yourself some love and approval? And that's a yes or no question. Either answer is fine. It's not a trick question, it's just a question. Anytime you're not feeling like you have love and approval is when you want love and approval. And you can't have both. You can't have love and approval and want it at the same time. So this way is a form of giving yourself love and approval. So could you give yourself some love and approval? Yes or no? And I invite you to say yes. It's a decision, and you get to decide. This is just between you. So could you give yourself some love and approval? Yes. Could you give yourself even more love and approval? Yes. And could you let go of wanting love and approval so you can have love and approval? Yes. And you might be feeling all kinds of stuff stirring inside of your body, like maybe some tightness in places. And in those tightness in places that you might be feeling, well, could you give those tight feelings some love and approval? Places that don't feel good inside your body, could you give those places some love and approval? And even more love and approval. Just like you might give a child who has fallen down and hurt themselves some extra love and approval. Well, could you do that for yourself? Could you give yourself some extra love and approval? And even more love and approval. And notice, how are you feeling? Are you feeling some love and approval? If you are feeling some love and approval, could you give yourself even more love and approval? And could you give yourself even more love and approval? And could you give yourself even more love and approval? And even more love and approval? And could you give your body all of those parts that don't feel good right now? Maybe some tightness in your stomach, maybe even your mind, in your head, you're trying to figure it out, like, what is she talking about? Could you give those parts of you some love and approval? This is unconditional love. For no reason, just give yourself some love and approval, because you can do that for yourself. And could you give yourself even more love and approval? And even more love and approval? And could you give yourself even more love and approval? And more love and approval? Now, if you're struggling with this, we can go to a point of like welcoming up the want for love and approval. Wanting up the want to get rid of this bad day and to change it. So could you welcome up that want, like bring that feeling up? Bring that feeling, because we tend to, any feelings that we don't like, you tend to push it away from you. Does that make sense? Like, we don't like the feeling of having a bad day, so we want to push that away. We don't want to feel that. So instead of pushing it away, could you bring that in and actually feel that bad day? And could you let that go? That feeling go? And would you let that feeling go? And when? You can let that go right now if you decide. And if you decide to let that go right now, well, could you let it go even more? And even more? And that want that's deep, that's under that feeling of having a bad day and is usually a want for love and approval and for things to go right. So could you welcome up that wanting for approval? And could you let go of wanting approval so you can have approval? Just like, you can't have something and want something at the same time. So you can't want and have approval at the same time. So could you let go of wanting it so you can have it? You're going to claim it for yourself because you can do that. You have the power to do that for yourself. You don't need anybody outside of you to give it to you. That's the biggest secret. You can get all these things for yourself. So could you let go of wanting approval so you can have approval? Could you let go of wanting love and approval so you can have love and approval? Could you let go of wanting love and approval so you can have love and approval? And which feels better? Wanting that love and approval, wanting it from someplace, or having love and approval? Having feels better, right? So could you let go of wanting love and approval so you can have love and approval? And now, does it feel like you have a little bit of love and approval? So at the beginning of this video, I came immediately into this spot where we are now of showing you how you can just be the person that gives you that love and approval. You don't need it from anybody outside of you. You don't need it from your parents. You don't need it from your boss. You don't need it from, your coworkers. You don't need it from your siblings. You don't need it from the world. You don't need it from, authority figures. You can have it for yourself. And the only way you're really going to feel like you really have it is when you start giving it to yourself. Because that's what's most important. That's the secret key to get everything from yourself. All of the love and approval can be gotten by you. And that's more powerful than anything else. Than anything else in this world. So could you give yourself even more love and approval? And even more love and approval. And notice who's giving you love and approval. You are. And how does that feel? And if you're struggling with this, then rewatch this video. And if you're not struggling, well, notice, how does that feel? Does it feel really light and peaceful and loving in that you're being approved of? And notice how you're the one that's giving yourself love and approval. And could you give yourself even more love and approval? And could you have even more love and approval? And 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 when you're filling your whole vessel up. Notice you're filling your whole vessel up with love and approval. Now, could you expand that love and approval? And could you expand that love and approval even more all around you? Expand that out. And you can even go as far as expanding that out to who you want love and approval from in this every moment. Thank you for doing this exercise. This is super powerful stuff, and it's super easy. Life is meant to be easy. I welcome you into my community, this Time for Wellness community. of really making your life easy and full of love. Unconditional love. That love that you've been wanting to get from everybody else. So there's so much more to share. So much more easy, simple things to share. So keep a lookout if you want to know more. And you can always drop me a message if you would like to have more information right now, or if you have any questions. Thank you for being you. And thank you for taking charge of your life.